Hi, I'm Allison from Boomerang Pilates, and today we're going to look at how the Cadillac machine from the Pilates equipment series can help make it easier to figure out how to really hinge into your hips in a forward bend. This is an excellent exercise or position for getting really deeply into your hamstrings where they attach to your ischial tuberosities, your sit bones. And it's a position often we have a hard time with. If you're tight in your hamstrings, you might often think that you're forward bending, when in fact, you get to a certain point, and once your back starts to curve, you're no longer increasing the length of your hamstrings. And in fact, you might even be decreasing it if in the process of this folding at your spine, your pelvis is starting to tip down. Your sit bones are starting to shorten towards the backs of your legs. That would mean that there's too much tension being created for your hamstrings to actually be able to lengthen one end away from the other. And release is a great way to facilitate that. Releasing usually involves lots of supports, right, to get you to the right position where your body can release and relax into its available length. So this is a non-stretchy, totally stable strap that I've hooked onto the fixed bar of the Cadillac. I've got it to the right height for me. This is adjustable. I have a bolster behind me, I have a bolster and a chair in front, so I can go to any supported height I want to and do lots of different things. I'm going to start by making sure that the strap is right at the hinge point of my hips, between my legs and my pelvis. I'm going to start on the floor with my heels and see how far can I go, still maintaining a nice relaxed curve in my lumbar spine. So I can go pretty far and have pretty good length in my legs, in the backs of my legs, and this is my job and I do it every day. But if I was really tight, I might find that by the time I've gotten to this point, I'm really rounding in here, or I'm feeling a lot of strain in my back. So there are a couple of different things you can do. One is you could put your feet up on the bolster. So you get a little forgiveness for your calves and your ankles, and that might be where some of the source of your tightness is coming from. And then you can go farther, making sure that you're relaxing and releasing into the muscles in the front of the hip, so there's no using your hip flexors to pull you around the strap. You are releasing your muscles to fold over the strap. I'm keeping a little bit of a lift to the bottom of my rib cage so that my upper transverse muscles are active and supporting me, because I'm trying to keep my lower belly and my back muscles relaxed. If I completely let go, it's not going to be so great in terms of support, and you could end up with a lot of rib shear. We want to avoid that. So you can take your heels a little bit up on the bolster. You can take your heels a lot. If you're really tight in your calves and ankles, you might want to go way high up, and that's going to give you more space to play with. If you're tighter than you can put your hands on the floor, maybe you come up and you put your hands on a chair. This is probably a good place for most people to start with, to really think about that lengthening of the hamstrings, lengthening the sit bones away from the backs of the knees. You can let your head hang down. You can push your hands into the chair so that you get a little bit of extra upper body support. You could turn the eye of the elbow forward so you get a little external rotation, just so you double up on your activities. You could bend your elbows, see where that goes. If you do that and immediately your lower back rounds, then you need to come back up. If you want to do a total release, grab your extra bolster and let your head hang down. This is awesome. This is very restful for me. I love it. While I'm hanging out here effectively doing nothing, in fact, my nerves and my muscles are talking to each other. The muscles in this released position are being given permission to go to their longest possible shape, their longest length, without strain, without sending a message to your body that says, oh my God, this is way too much, this is too intense, and then when you come out of the shape, the muscles will tend to just snap back to their original tightened length. So going just to the edge of your boundary and hanging out there for a little while with no big stretch sensation, it's just really letting your muscles acclimate to their existing healthy end range is so incredibly effective. And once you come out of that released state, you may find that your length has dramatically increased. You can let your head hang. You can certainly experiment with, now let it go. This is no longer a fold. This is not a hip hinge anymore, right? Because I've let my back round. This is not really appropriate if you have really big low back issues, if there's nobody there with you to keep an eye on you. Feels pretty nice to me. And then I change back and I come back into a fold. But I'm always looking to maintain that easy sway of the low back. It's not a collapse. This is a natural lumbar curve. You could experiment with bending your knees. If you tend to be really tight and you're kind of hanging out here, if you bend your knees and your low back completely relaxes, you can know that that's because you've taken some of the strain off your hamstrings and that you probably need to come higher in your hinge, hence the need for the nice stable strap. So you can play around with that if you have access to a Cadillac and experiment with what it feels like to really individuate your legs in the hip socket rather than combining your hips and your lower back together into the same thing. If you like this, there are several other videos you can look at, or you can follow us on the blog at www.fromthegroundup.guru. Thanks. Bye.